Okay, live streaming. Trying to capture some homebrew DIY cerakoting and a lot of weirdness in front of that. Can you guys keep it down a little bit, please? I cerakoted once a week ago. Actually, let me get that result. I kind of practiced it on this crappy Dell quiet key, and this is what the back looked like when I did it. So I was pretty happy with the results, but that was the very first thing I did. The process was pretty horrible. I spilled paint down my whole leg, and so I got a couple changes to the process right now. Today we're gonna try to get through all these steps, and hopefully twice. I'll do the bottom first, so that in case I can improve that, I'll do the top second and have some more lessons learned. But I guess let's see. This is kind of my steps, and so we're going to do step one right now, making racking hangers to match the case and check fit in the oven. So the problem is in do-it-yourself, I bought a smoker and it just barely fits these keyboards, and so they might touch the edge if I'm not careful. They probably will, even if no matter what I do. But the goal now is to kind of try to make some rigging that would do it. And so last time I used this for that one I just showed you, coat hanger bent to the side with a alligator clip. So then I bought some of this stock to see what might fit in the alligator clip, but then I realized I don't like how I feel like the pinch isn't strong enough. I guess it's pretty decent at the moment, but yeah, I can't quite carry the weight of a full keyboard, and so I bought these thinking they might, but man, they don't feel much better. So I guess we're stuck with these for today. Maybe up is better than down for the weight. I don't know. This feels better than this. This one maybe got too used. I don't know. Anyway, so I was thinking about soldering it on there. So I got my soldering iron out. I guess I can set it to the other side of its power station so you can see it a little bit. Let's see, where's the keyboard I'm going to be working on? So here's the top and bottom of I'm going to do an aek2 Apple Extended Keyboard 2. I think it has what kind of Alps inside? Cream damped maybe? And I can't see where I put the box, but okay, anyways. I did retrobrating on it a while back in one of my videos, and was not happy with the brightening. It wasn't consistent, and so I want to use this candidate for Cerakote. I didn't think about what I might do for this. So I took all the pieces parts out. There was quite a few, including popping out the Apple logo. So we'll probably heat tape this screw right here, and I need to pop out this plastic piece. That's the last thing I need to do on that. And I think the bottom is, there's no more pieces in here, but there's some gunk in there. And I'm going to need to heat tape, or I'm going to want to heat tape these, I guess. And hopefully when we wash it, it'll clean up some of that first, though. And I did check, let's see, I think I got my Apple logo over here somewhere. Yeah, I checked with this case, what is it going to look like, and I think it might look kind of interesting. I think it's going to be, there's a lot of colors that would be complementary to just that logo itself, but not that should drive the whole decision of color. But I happened to get a sample kit of Cerakote that I ordered. I chose my 3 colors, so I chose Smith & Wesson red, and I think like a Tech dark blue or something, and maybe a gray, cobalt gray kind of thing. So anyways, we're going to do the red again today on this particular AEK, part of AEK2. I have two of these, so you don't. And then I just got a beautiful AEK with orange Alps in it, and so now I definitely feel like this is a little more expendable if I mess up on the case. So it's going to be the one we're going to try to get through today. And so I did a dry run, like I said last week, the process, and this is the more of a real deal, trying to really do it with and see if we can improve the process. So I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I guess I was gonna solder these on the end and get them the right height. Like, so for example, when it hangs, it's got it. I only have like, in fact, this one wouldn't even work. Well, basically, the bar it's gonna hang on, it needs to have less than 2 inches from the tip that it's hanging on to here, or else the bottom's gonna touch the bottom of the smoker. What I'm thinking about trying to rig up though is a kind of a double-sided support so that it doesn't also like swing laterally when it's hanging. So I think 2 supports and maybe a cross beam or something might be interesting. And so first of all, I'm kind of wondering if soldering is an option. Will soldering hold the joint enough for, since it's ABS plastic, we are not going to be heating it when we're cure in the oven. It's not going to be that high of a temperature, and so let's find out if what soldering, how it works, and what temperatures it can sustain. So let's switch over to Google here, and let's go soldered joint temperature limit. Okay. See what that says. Is it doing it? What happened? Oh. Probably didn't hit enter in the right window. There we go. What is a soldered joint? What's the best temperature for soldering? Start at lowest possible. A good rule is 260 to 500 Fahrenheit and then increase. Can you overheat a joint? If you don't heat it enough, the solder won't flow. Soldering provides brazing. Okay, let's see. Solder. Come on, someone give me the answer we're looking for here. Solder joints. How to solder. Pressure ratings. Max solder. Solder joint temperature, maybe. Oh. No, solder joint. Oh, so this isn't even what I was trying to search for, was it? Solder joint temperature limit. Okay, now I see what I was doing wrong. Okay. We didn't get the right query going. They're generally used where the service temperature does not exceed 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's good because the ABS plastic we're curing is at 150 to 180 Fahrenheit range. So that tells me the joints will be good. So I haven't, I've used it I've only soldered, I just started all this like less than a year ago, and my first thing I did in my hobby of these mechanical keyboards was to solder the switches onto the PCB, and so that's all I've done. Now we're going to actually try to see if we can use it to solder some metal here. So let me look at my, see if I have a soldering, any hints from last time that I took notes on or anything. Nope. Okay, solder. Gosh, I guess I didn't take any of those a year ago, so not that I was expecting much. Oh, on this page. Well, I don't want the page. I want current notebook, solder, new process, 5-wire solder mask. Let's see. Nothing about, oh, here is this is what I actually used it on, so maybe this will tell me what temperature I used. Soldering, anybody? No. Solder, solder, solder. Why did I get a hit on this page? I don't know. Now let's see if I change the scope to current page. Oh, there's solder mask on this. Solders the switches. Yeah, got it. Okay, so let's do our own research, I guess, and figure out. I couldn't remember what temperature to lock my soldering iron into. What temperature do I use to solder? Soldering basics. What's the best temperature? 6040 solder meld. Let me look at my tube here. Just remember what I bought. It is a pocket pack of, what does it say? Yeah, 6040. So 6040, 190 degrees Celsius. Let's see what 190 C to Fahrenheit is. 374. PCB. I'm remembering 700 temp. I don't know why though. Yeah, so this is saying the melting point of most solders in the region of 370 degrees Fahrenheit. And the iron tip is typically so the tip should be around 6 something. So let's say, so I'm going to go by this basic soldering guide. So I'm going to set my Fahrenheit temp on my unit to 650 degrees. Let's remember that. And let's flip back to overhead. So we're going to go to 650 when we do turn this on. We're not quite ready for that yet. And let's see. And I don't even know how to make a good joint, but I guess I'll figure that out when we get there. I do have more clips, and let me bring the alligator clips over. What I don't really know is what I got. Kind of these tools for bending, and I do have I don't have a good vise, but this for cutting, I guess. So let's see. These hooks came with this cheap coat hanger that I got. We're going to be soldering. We're going to be cerakoting out, spray painting outside. Last time I did it in a booth and I almost died. I didn't have any ventilation. I messed it all up. So I'm going to try it outside. Mother Nature could blow some pollen or stuff onto the part, but let's do it yourself. That's the environment I'm in. I don't have a fancy, particle-free ventilated spray area. One thing I want to see is if I can bend, some of this stuff. So now I can bend a hanger. Let's see if I can practice on some stuff. Maybe. This is not the pro way to do it, I can tell already. I don't know, this stock, I don't know if it's meant to bend, so let's see if we can get it to bend, or I don't know if it breaks. In fact, I'm going to put my eyeglasses, safety glasses on, like I should have earlier before starting this video, but caught it at the right time, I guess, so hopefully those will protect my eyes if something's going to go flying. So, I also have a, so that's stuff harder to work with. I think the thinnest ones I have here, maybe there's one thinner I can try. Mostly when I got it, I was trying to see, I don't know. I hung a rod up inside the smoker, and so that was the first metal stock I bought. And so I'm like, oh, let me try some of this, see if I can do it for coat hangers. And so this is the smallest one in the sample bag I got, and it's a little easier to bend, so maybe that has promise. But maybe, you know, the good old trusty coat hanger is just good enough. So those are, you know, I can bend them with my finger, and hopefully we can get them sturdy enough to support this keyboard. So let's unwind one of these and see if we can use the metal from it in what we're doing. Oh, this is a, yeah, see, I don't even know what I'm doing here, but yeah, see that comes out. That comes out. Okay. I'm gonna say we want to clip each side for now. Wow, thought these would cut. There we go. I'll try this other one. Okay. Where's my other piece? Did it go flying? Oh, here it is. Yep. Okay, so I don't know. So let's get these. I think are going to be too hard to bend, so I'm going to set those aside for now. And same with these rods that I haven't bent yet. I'll save those. Set those aside. I thought I was buying these because they were supposed to be extra strong, but not sure they are, but we could try and experiment with these. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to mount off them if I can. Hopefully this is weak enough joint that it'll pop off here. Yep, there we go. Now let's try the same thing with the other side. Huh. Yeah, there we go. Oh, so maybe that's why they're... So they're really only... So does that clamp better or worse than this thing? Ow. This is way better. So that was kind of a failed purchase. I don't know. I need to find the right thing, and it's just one of those where I just couldn't quite find the right thing. You know, Cerakote sells hooks, and usually when you're hooking a gun and stuff, maybe it's easier. I don't know, but I gotta watch the videos. There's probably, I'm not thinking creatively enough on how to hang this stuff, but basically I'm trying to make my own rigging right now. So for the, let's do the back, I guess, since that's first. So this is gonna be hard to clip on. So I guess I would try to clip onto that and that. So maybe they each have their own interesting problems. So for this one, maybe it's solvable because I can wind it around this, and you know, and it'll stay. It'll stay. That's probably a good idea. And then the same thing here. This one might be easier than I think, because what is this? Yeah, this goes through, but yeah. So if, the problem is if it goes too far through, I don't want to scuff the paint. So the goal would be to stay on this backside. But like for example, if I hung it on here, that's going to touch that paint out there. So that's not as good. Nothing really to grab onto down this side, but so it's more like these two might balance it if I could get something on these two, but maybe it needs to go sideways to get the strength. No. That's interesting. So I could hang it like that. I was more usually visualizing it kind of straight on like this instead of like that. And then this one, same thing. I guess if I could get it like this. I think I can, once I make this rigging, I can just leave it on there, and it'll just carry it around and hang it. So I'm kind of liking something like this where there's more of these clips. So So that would hang it pretty good. So let's work on a rigging that can do that and ends up like an inch or two above the thing. So what happens if I, at the end of this tube, oh, it does shoot through. So we could, so rather than solder, I could imagine doing something where I just bend this at the right interval. So I think we're getting some ideas going here. Let's see if I can bend this flat.
Masala sauce is going to be the marinade.
So I think that will hang. Problem is I don't remember if that curtain, there's a curtain rod out there that has a pretty thick bar. I should have measured it. So I'm guessing I need to make this loop around a little better. I should have a bar in here that matches it so I can prove that I'm doing what I want, doing it correctly, I mean. Something like that would be, so if I, and this can roll around in it, but if I could bend it without messing things up, like keep bending this around, except I didn't measure it first, but so I'd have to find the sweet spot. So let's say, well, this one maybe I did kind of measure it, so so this hangs at yeah, this is actually pretty dang close. I think I could maybe bend it to be a little closer to what we want or need there. So I'm going to clip a little bit off the end here. Oh. Oh, just look, everything's still good. And then it's, I think I'm going to bend this together. And that's one of our clips. I might still solder it. We'll see. We're soldering now. You can see it. Maybe soldering it so that it stays in line in a certain way that I want. I guess we'll take the video outside and hang it on the, I'll show you what it looks like inside the oven and on the hanger, and we'll make some more adjustments. Question is, are two of these more useful? And I'm going to suggest that they are, so let's make another one. So just bending some coat hanger. And I guess we'll straighten this out to get it through the alligator clip. See if I can get this guy to go a little straighter. There we go. So, what does he look like? I kind of want him to go on the other side, so let's bend that, pull him back a little bit and go through the other side. Okay. I don't know why. kind of like this double hanger. Yeah, there's not much slack there, but let's see what we got. Doesn't need to be much, but like if this was on there, does this match this? It's a little high, so I can come a little lower. So about like that. Shoot. Yeah, I think we got it right. So let's try to bend that. Okay. And voila. So I'm gonna say I would like it to kind of be like this. So let's pretend with both these now that they're hanging on the thing. There we go. The one's taking all the weight. This one is. The question is, can it hold it? I think it can, so I guess I'm back to, let's just try one on this. So if we just did the one, what are we going to do? Do I solder it? Or do I want to try to get away without soldering? Let's try soldering just for grins. Where this is sideways. So let's move some tools for a second. Turn on our soldering station. On. Turn on my fan. So this is going to get noisy, I guess. And so for setting, I want to get it to 650. And then I'm going to push read, so now it should maintain 650 when it gets there. So I haven't soldered in a year, but let's see if I can remember some stuff here. So we'll use the bottom of this keyboard. I do have this cutter, but I don't really have anything too safe. Let's see. So what's the best way to hold this while I try to solder it in place? Yeah, I don't really want to hold it with my finger. So something like this and this channel might hold that up. And then so that's held vertically while I solder this part. That might work. Let's see. I don't know. I haven't tried this, but let's see. I can't see as good without my glasses on. Let's see if I can tune the tip here. Okay. Let's just try soldering this guy and see if we can get the two metals to stick together. Try some on this end. That didn't really stick. What's going? What am I doing wrong here? Maybe it can't stick to that kind of metal or something. Can't quite see what I'm doing either. I put enough, maybe I'll just coat it or something. Yeah, it's just falling off. Well, probably use the wrong kind of metals or something. You could look it up. I think I can get by without it even working, but I wanted to give it a shot. So I'm gonna tin this and dock it and turn it off for now. And see what happened here. Is it holding or not holding at all? So apparently that's not a thing, or don't know. So I could try to clamp the ends better is what I will do, I guess, or should do. Is this a little bead of solder, a little fleck of solder. Yeah, so we want this to stand up straight, so I'll see if I can pinch, keep working on pinching this to somehow be accurate, or twist or something. But this is what we got. It's nothing great. I'll have to keep working on that part of the process. That's my attempt at that. So what I want it to do is hang like that. So I'm going to set this one aside. Now let's look at this other one. First, let's see if we can get this little plastic thing off. I haven't. Let me go get my close-up glasses. My general idea is I was going to pry them up with it looks like kind of a rivet thing. So actually I could have used my soldering iron to melt it maybe, but what I wanted to try was I had a couple screwdrivers. Where'd they go? Oh, here they are. So here's what I was going to try first. Let's see if I could get under there and pry it open. Oh, okay, what did I do there? Yeah, sorry, get my head out of the way, but I lifted it up. Mostly it's gave a little bit on the edges, but then I went across the top and it sort of popped out and broke these plastic rivets. So we'll have to see about popping those out or before I put it back in. But basically, you know, this could probably be made on a 3D printer pretty easily if we needed to redo it. It's just but you can kind of see that I broke basically the plastic rivets. And here's a close-up of the where those were extruded. Okay. Anyways, this is down to its last leg. I don't have to worry about the paint or heat getting this filled. The paint is super thin, 0.001 1,000th of an inch is what Cerakote does. So I think we're, I'm not worried about it clogging that hole. But maybe we'll learn and find out that it can. Definitely, I do want to tape this. And I wanted to tape the back, but I wasn't going to do that yet because I was going to sandblast. But now that I think about it, let's do it. Shoot, I left the stuff outside, so I'm going to pause the video and go get the heat tape, and we'll cut that next. So I'm pausing for a brief minute.